Tuesday marked the last day of high-level speeches at the United Nations General Assembly being held in New York. While many of the world's top leaders took the podium last week, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was the final speaker. In a half-hour address, Netanyahu rejected Iran's new overtures to the West. For more, we're joined now by CCTV's UN correspondent Stephen Fee. Stephen?
Well, Mike, there were no pictures of cartoon bombs this year, but Benjamin Netanyahu still had some fiery rhetoric for Iran's new and seemingly moderate leadership. He singled out President Hassan Rouhani, saying that he had fooled the world before and would likely do so again. After a week-long charm offensive by Iran's newly elected president, Hassan Rouhani, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had just one message for the global community: don't believe the hype.
Rouhani doesn't sound like Ahmadinejad. But when it comes to Iran's nuclear weapons program, the only difference between them is this: Ahmadinejad was a wolf in wolf's clothing. Rouhani is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Last week, Iranian and Western diplomats agreed to restart talks over Iran's disputed nuclear program, and U.S. President Barack Obama spoke by telephone with his Iranian counterpart, the first such interaction in decades. But Netanyahu called Iran's moderate rhetoric a ruse to persuade the international community to lift sanctions.
That's why Rouhani got elected in the first place. That's why he launched his charm offensive. He definitely wants to get the sanctions lifted, I guarantee you that. But he doesn't want to give up Iran's nuclear weapons program in return.
Netanyahu said those sanctions should only be lifted after Iran has agreed to shutter its nuclear program.
Don't let up the pressure. Keep it up. We all want to give diplomacy with Iran a chance to succeed. But when it comes to Iran, the greater the pressure, the greater the chance.
While focusing mostly on Iran, Netanyahu did say he was committed to the newly restarted peace talks between Israelis and Palestinians.
But so far, Palestinian leaders haven't been prepared to offer the painful concessions they must make in order to end the conflict. For peace to be achieved, the Palestinians must finally recognize the Jewish state.
And in a preemptive statement for Iran's part, their foreign minister called Mr. Netanyahu a liar and said he was the most isolated individual at the United Nations. Mike?
Stephen Fee, live for us in New York. Thank you. In his address